All right. Well, welcome everyone to the PlantStrong Monday night team call. We're super excited to be together with you guys. And as I was saying, we are wrapping up the last week of January. And so we're going to go out with a bang and have one of my really good friends, Curt Beavers, share with us tonight. And for you, those of you who are newer to the community and you don't know who Curt is, we're going to fix that tonight and introduce him. But Curt has actually been in the company for 30 years. And he started when he was like 5.
Right.
30 years. He pretty much was there from the conception of Juice Plus and beyond. And so he has a lot of knowledge and wisdom about the products, but also he has built one of the largest businesses in our company. And so he knows a lot about bringing people into the community and recruiting and duplicating. And that's what he's going to talk about tonight for you guys. But he is married. He lives in Georgia. His wife, Lori, does the business with him. He has 3 kids. He has Trey, Hope, and Zach. Hope is in the business, and she's a senior sales coordinator. And he has 2 grandchildren. One just happened last Monday. That's why he wasn't here.
Right.
It's Powell and Clayton, and they're super excited for that little blessing. So Curt and I, we met 8 years ago, and he really is the reason I am in the business today, because he kind of took me under his wing and taught me, when I didn't have a sponsor, he taught me how to do this business. And it's been the biggest blessing of my life to be able to have this franchise and have the time freedom and to be able to pay it forward to all of you and get to work with such amazing people. And so I'm going to let Curt take it away. He's going to share about recruiting and, just the power of sharing our business opportunity and what that's looked like for him and how you can do it to grow a business that you want to have. So.
Okay. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah.
Her nickname is Prego. So
for now.
for now, at least. So I am so glad to be with you guys tonight. And this Zoom call is really a cool thing we've been able to add to our company's repertoire of technology in the last, 2 or 3 years. We were trying all kinds of methods to communicate. And when I got in the business, my first expense that I made a big business expense. My first expense was a fax machine. And guess what I paid for my first fax machine? $1,800. And we've come a long ways to smartphones and using email a lot, and email is now overloaded, and now we get to use Zoom. So it's a great way to not only talk, but to be able to see each other, and you can do it in the convenience of your own home, which is kind of nice. But I'm not going to use a PowerPoint tonight. I just really want to talk to you guys. I have been doing this for a long time. It's been the most amazing thing that's ever happened in our life. And just to give you a quick beginning of our journey, I won't take a long time telling my story, but I just want to tell you a little bit about how we got started and then dive right into kind of the recruiting process and what that looks like, and maybe a little bit about the structure you need to build a business that can create the residual income that we've been able to build. But Lori and I were very much like many of you that I'm looking at on the call tonight. And Michelle, we've been married almost a year when we got started, right out of Georgia Tech. Lori had just done her last beauty pageant. She was in the Miss Georgia pageant and didn't win, but she got close. And we decided to get married. And then we had this, if you've read my book, I don't know if you have or not, my book's called Make a Life, but there's a story in there. And I like to call these stories and moments in time Kairos moments. And a Kairos moment is the word Kairos. It's that moment that's different than, at some point in time in the next hour or so, 2 hours, 3 hours, whenever you guys go to bed, whatever time zone you're in, you're going to go to bed, you're going to get up, you're going to eat breakfast. You're going to have that regular routine happen. And that's chronos, the word for time. Those just like seconds keep ticking away, just like all of our lives keep ticking away. And the next thing happens. Well, Kairos is that opportune moment where something happens and it breaks the normal rhythm of time. And that happened for Lori and I right before we got in this business. We went and heard our pastor preach a sermon and he preached on getting out of debt. And we really got kind of a deep introspective place in our life. We were just thinking about what was next. And Lori really got upset and frustrated and was kind of almost depressed. And I didn't really know what was bothering her, although that sermon was very touching that day. But she said, we're never going to be able to have kids. And I said, why? She said, because I'm not willing to put one of our children in daycare 40 hours a week, and we're never going to make enough money to be able to have children and me stay at home. I just don't see it happening. And so we began this quest for a way to build a business for her to stay at home so she could make $1,000 a month. We didn't know what that business was going to look like. We didn't have kids yet. She wasn't pregnant, but we were planning ahead, trying to figure that out. And we began talking to our friends and friends of our parents and just kind of put the word out. Hey, if you've got any ideas, Lori would really like to do something from home and make $1,000. And friend of a friend who was a pastor's wife from a church in Atlanta called us and said, hey, I have no idea if you're interested, but I heard you wanted to make some extra money, stay at home. I lost my job at the airlines. My husband is an associate pastor. I was the bigger breadwinner, and I had to replace my income. So she said, why don't y'all come over? I'll cook dinner. We can sit on the couch, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. So we said, okay. She was really nice. We got there, sat on her couch by the fireplace, and she began to tell us what she was doing. She was not a salesperson. She was the sweetest person you've ever met, the kind of person you want at your bedside if you were sick, a mercy personality type. And she couldn't explain the product. She loved it. Couldn't explain the business. She loved it. All we remember literally that night from her explanation was she said she made $80,000 that year. And we immediately left and said, well, if she can do it, we can do it. Lori, you've got $1,000 a month, in the bank with one hand tied behind our back. We can do this. So we got started. And probably like many of you all, you became really good at what I call being a customer getter. And you got good at getting customers. And we got 38 customers our first month. And of those 38 customers, as we were telling them what we were doing, we didn't just tell them about the product. We said, Lori and I are so excited. She's going to be able to stay at home. And 13 of those 38 said they had something in their life they wanted to change too. There was something that just wasn't quite right. They weren't going to be able to reach their goals, their dreams, their passion, their purpose. And 13 of those 38 also looked at the business. They came to a business event with us, and 5 of them joined us in the business. And we've never looked back. But after that first month, something else changed. It was almost like a second Kairos moment. And what happened was the person that sponsored our sponsor understood it more and knew the marketing plan. They said, you and Lori could be a national marketing director. And we said, well, what the heck's a national marketing director? I said, well, you get a $3,000 per month expense allowance, and you get full benefits for your family. And all you got to do is build 5 good leaders on your team. We'd recruited 5 people. We thought we were like, hey, this might work. And we just really got excited, super duper excited about the potential of that. And 4 months later, I quit my job, and Lori had already quit, and she made national marketing director in 8 months. It was amazing, amazing journey. I made it our 14th month, and we've never looked back. But it all happened because we had a light switch go off from let's go get a few customers so you make $1,000 a month to let's build a business. And that's what I want to talk to you guys tonight, is about building a business. And we made a huge memory jogger list of 300 names, and we began contacting people. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have all the technology we have today. So we actually sat down, had a cup of coffee. I remember knocking on my college roommate's door and said, what are you doing? I got to show you something. It was 11 o'clock at night, and we just were wide open. And what drove us to do that was we saw the life that we could have. We saw that we would not have to have a job anymore. We wouldn't have to commute. So many of our friends, and even more so today, go to college and they get a degree and they think everything's going to be peachy keen, hunky dory. and they end up with a cubicle, a computer, and a commute, and it's not what they signed up for. They want more out of their life. And so we began to talk that story and that journey, what Lori and I were being able to accomplish, and sharing that with a lot of people. And that's really where the whole recruiting journey begins. People do want to be a part of a great company. They do want to be a part of delivering a great product on the mission that we're on. But even more than that, people want to have a vehicle, something that allows them to create the life they want to create. And so what has to happen is you have to start telling the story of the life you're creating with this amazing company and product. And that makes you contagious. That makes you attractive. And, Michelle said I was going to train on recruiting, but really we were able to recruit because we were excited about what we were doing. We were so excited. It's kind of like, I don't want to get too faith-based on this call, but you've probably all heard the word gospel. And the word gospel literally means, in the Christian faith, it means Jesus came and there's this good news. But literally the word gospel means too good to be true news. It's so amazing, it's too good to be true. Well, that's the kind of passion and enthusiasm you have to have about this business. And so we were talking about, we've joined this company and it's absolutely amazing. I thought my job was going to be what I did the rest of my life. I was in commercial real estate. We began to tell people, real estate's a great industry. I love what I'm doing, but the economy's bad. It's beyond my control. And I can't control the cycles of up and down of the real estate and housing market. But this is something that I can wrap my hands around. Lori and I can go build a business for our family. And we began sharing that. And we told them that we wanted 5 people to partner with us and join us on this journey. And we had no idea if you're one of those people. But I'd love for you to sit down and hear what we're doing, because even if you're not interested, I know you know somebody who is, and you might be able to help me find one of those 5 people. So we began that journey. And fast forward to today, just this past weekend. So I'm coaching. I'm one of the conversation coordinators in our Brave Leaders program. Anybody on the line doing Brave Leaders this time around? Yeah, it's a great program, and talks about courage and bravery and vulnerability and shame and all kind of things. Trust is next week. But I've got 7 men in my group, and I know men and women are wired a little differently, but when it comes to being vulnerable, sometimes recruiting challenges how vulnerable you're willing to be, because you've got to get out of that comfort zone. I'm going to turn this over here. Sorry. It's cold here. The heater's making a ton of noise. Oh, well. Is that noise bad, Michelle? Okay. So becoming vulnerable means kind of stepping out there, maybe out of your comfort zone. I don't know if any of you all have had this feeling, but the concept of people, is that one of those multi-level things? Is that one of those pyramid deals? They don't think what you're doing is a real business. They think you're always going to be selling them something. And I had an interesting experience this past weekend. I like to be outdoors and hunt and fish and do all kinds of things with my boys. And we just finished duck season. We've been duck hunting a good bit the last 60 days. It's only a 60-day season. But I joined a duck club last year and just met some amazing people. But last year I was kind of afraid to go all out with Juice Plus with these 30 new guys I'd met, because I wanted to build trust and relationship with these guys. I didn't want them to immediately think, oh, here comes the Juice Plus salesman again. So I really worked on building a relationship with them. And this past weekend, I have a dentist from Memphis, an ER doctor from Arkansas, a guy that owns a car dealership in Knoxville, a college student from Mississippi, and a corn farmer from Iowa that all are doing 3-way phone calls, Zoom calls with me this week to get their business started. But it was my love of what I do but also making sure that I was around people enough so that I could share that passion. And so I didn't go duck hunting to do Juice Plus. I went duck hunting because I love it and love being out in the woods with my boys. And as a result of going out and connecting and being with new people, I'm going to end up recruiting 5 people from that. And that's what you need to think about when you think of recruiting. You need 5 people on your team. You need 5 people that will join you on your mission and your journey. And you've got to work hard at building trust, rapport, relationships with people around you so you can find those 5. And, I would encourage you to have some kind of working memory jogger. Well, 2 things. One, you do need a memory jogger or a list, quote unquote, to work from. And a lot of people nowadays, I don't know if you know it or not, but you can go into Facebook and you can print your friends list. So you can go in there and you can print your friends list, and that can become your memory jogger. But I'd encourage you to have some kind of list you're working from. But I'd also encourage you to make sure that your life puts you in front of people all the time so that you can share with them and talk with them about things you're passionate about. When you go to a cocktail party or you go to an event, when you're around your friends, you go to a wedding reception, you go to a Bible study, you go to the gym, the people you hang out and have conversations with, what do you talk about? You talk about what you're excited about. They talk about what they're excited about. You talk about the latest book you read. You talk about the football game you went to. You talk about something new you bought at a store on sale because you're excited you got such a great deal. That's how you have to bring Juice Plus into your life conversations. And then you begin to, sometimes you have to work on the relationship before you earn the right and trust to recruit them and share the business with them. And that's really what I work hard on. I try to connect with a lot of people, and then you find out in those conversations when they're ready to start. And so what you need to do is decide I don't know whether your business, whether you've already got 3 great people and you need 2 more, or if you have 1 and you need 4 more, or you have 10 and you're trying to figure out which 10 or which 5 of the 10 are really going to do something. But either way, it's about building that trust and respect with them. One of the things we talked about on our call last night was once you have those conversations and somebody says they're interested, what do you do next? And I know Michelle, she says I've taught her. She's taught me a lot of things too. But you all have a great email drip system that you can use. And that's how the process started with all 5 of these this past weekend was, I'm going to put them on the 7-day drip series. So that's one of the first things that I always do, because that way I don't have to worry about finding the right videos, sending the right emails, getting the right information to them. We've kind of already got that canned in a box, so to speak. And so every time I meet with somebody and they're interested, I know I can start the process there, but then it all depends on how well I follow up, whether anything happens or not. I mean, how many of you have got bukus of emails coming in? So just sending the emails doesn't do it. It's follow up, but the emails start the process, okay? So you got to do that, and that's really how I recruit. But the one thing you've got to learn to do is in that process, when you're having these conversations, it goes back to what you've heard at boot camps, what you've seen on websites about telling your story. Because when you run into people, they're going to tell you their story, what's going on in their life, what they're doing, what they're excited about. You need to learn to tell your story. And if you go back to that word gospel and too good to be true news, each of you on this phone tonight, you need to spend some time working on your story beyond what you learned. And some of you may be brand new on the call. But if you're not brand new, when you were brand new, you saw this statement and it said fill in the blank. Juice Plus made sense to me because. So Juice Plus made sense to me because I didn't eat enough fruits and vegetables. That's great. Juice Plus made sense to me because I didn't eat enough fruits and vegetables, and I know that eating the right amounts of fruits and vegetables in my diet is better than taking vitamins. That's great. But how do you convey that where you're super excited? Are you going to say something like, you know what, I didn't eat enough fruits and vegetables. I know I didn't. But here's what I do know for sure, is that if we don't take care of our bodies and take care of ourselves and do something for prevention, we're just being ignorant to the fact that fruits and vegetables, berries, the things in our diet, the whole foods in our diet are the things that are going to keep us healthier. And everybody's got some history of cancer, heart disease, stroke. Every family's got something in it somewhere. And if there was only a 10% chance that Juice Plus worked, it's worth the risk of taking. It's worth the investment in my life to take that. I'm super excited. I got stories about my kids being constipated, all kind of stories I can tell. But I tell how I'm excited about the product. And then you, from a recruiting perspective, you've got to get beyond, I started my own virtual franchise because, or the Juice Plus virtual franchise made sense to me because, that was great. But you heard my story in the beginning. Lori and I began to say, you know what? Lori and I decided to start a virtual franchise because she wants to stay home with our kids. And we've already in our first month been able to make over $1,000 and allowed her to stay at home. We'd love to share with you our business so that you could reach some of your goals. Have you ever wanted to stay at home with your kids, or do you travel too much? This business is absolutely amazing. Have you ever heard of a business where you could be independent, own your own business, you're not an employee, yet you get benefits and an expense allowance? How can you change your story so that it is too good to be true? They see you're excited about it, and you really realize what you have. I think a lot of people go out and say Juice Plus made sense because, or virtual franchise made sense because, and they don't realize what they have. You've got a $50 investment opportunity to build a business that literally can change your life. Think about that. What if I told you that if you would contact 2 new people a day for the next 12 months, I'd guarantee you a 6-figure income for the rest of your life? Now, you've got to do some work in that process, but I don't know of anybody that's contacted 2 people a day for a year that's not a national marketing director making huge 6-figure incomes with this company. But the problem is people don't want to put that effort into this business. Lori and I got started, and we talked to hundreds of people those first 36 months. And the business we have today really is because of the foundation we laid those first 36 months. The 17 frontline people that we recruited, every one of them are not our superstars. Most of the time, the frontline person we recruited is not the superstar, but they knew somebody who was. Everybody in your business is either going to be what I call a dud or a stud. Some people are going to be studs, and they're going to step up and do what you're doing, and they're going to be amazing and go do this business. Some people are going to be the person that's that connector person. Who do you have on your team that you need to go back and have this kind of conversation with and say something like this? When you got started in this business, I knew you were going to be amazing. I knew you could do everything it took. You had the contacts, the connections, the talents and skills, but for some reason right now, you're not able, or it's not the right time for you to invest that kind of daily activity in this business. I know you love the product, but I got an idea. What if we were to change your role in this business? What if we were to decide for the next 90 days, instead of you being out there doing what I'm doing every day, what if you connected me with somebody that you wanted on your team, made that introduction, I went, met with them, shared our business with them, and whatever business I build, whoever I recruit will put under you, and you can play the role of connector instead of doer. And let everybody you recruit make an investment in your business, whether they're the ones that do it or they're the ones that find the person that will do it. And one of the reasons you want to do a memory jogger is I remember Michelle and I, when she first got started, or really she started, and then when she said, I want to do this, we sat down and did a memory jogger. She filled out a Google sheet. She sent it to me, and we went down and talked about literally everybody on that list. She would describe this person. We'd decide what that next step was. What's the right thing? What's the right video? Should we do a 3-way phone call? Should she talk to them the next time she went to the gym? So she knew what she needed to do with all those people. And then as Michelle did that with her people and they did that with their people, what happens is you begin to dig deep in your organization to find the duds or the studs, and it keeps, everybody's either going to do it or they can find somebody that will do it. And that allows you, your memory jogger to go deep, and it really drives down and finds that amazing person on your team, because ultimately what you want in this business, be great if you build 5 different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different national marketing director legs. That'd be awesome. But forget titles for a minute. I want to tell you what you need to do to make sure that you have residual income for life. You need to find 5 people. One person might need $1,000 a month. One might need $10,000 a month. One might need $3,000 a month. One might need $500 a month. But you want to find 5 people that you can walk with them hand in hand, help them get to VF, to sales coordinator, get them, by working with them hand in hand, get them to a place where they're getting enough benefit from the Juice Plus business, from the business you've helped them build, that they're getting enough benefit from this business, that $1,000, $2,000, $10,000, whatever it is, that if you quit, what they're getting from the Juice Plus business is important enough to them and their family that if you quit, they wouldn't. And if you'll build 5 legs with at least one person in each leg that's getting enough from this business that if you quit, they wouldn't, you've got residual income the rest of your life. And that's really what this business looks like. The titles are important in terms of making sure we're maximizing our pay. But if you'll focus on the people, not on the plan, not on the product, not on the research, not on the details, but your mission is to go find the right people. The company's going to handle everything else. They handle the product, the research, the farming, the collecting of the money, the accounting, the payroll. They do all that. The only thing you have to do is to find the people to join you so that you build the right structure. You've probably, I'll kind of wrap up with this. You've probably all heard the old song we used to sing at retreats, and especially like young middle schoolers, that song, deep and wide, that song. If you were in church when you were little, you sang that song. Maybe you did. Maybe that was in my era or my time. Did you sing that song, Michelle? Yes? Okay. She's laughing at me because I don't sing very well. I try hard though, Michelle. God likes it when I sing. So that song, Deep and Wide, is so relevant to our business in that it's not just go wide, and recruit 50 people. If you did that, you're going to build a house that's on sand. It's going to be a shallow business, and you're going to end up recruiting a bunch of people that don't have teams under them, and they're totally dependent on themselves to go get customers to earn their paycheck. And you want to duplicate the model of structure and team. You want to teach people that, you don't need a zillion customers. The people that make the most money in my organization, and I've got about 220 national marketing directors on my team now, the people that make the most income from our business have somewhere between 30 and 40 customers. They don't have 100, they don't have 200, they don't have 500. They've got a customer base that qualifies their business, they're customer qualified, and they've invested themselves in finding people to join them on this journey. And that's really what you need to focus on in 2018 if you want to maximize your business. If you want to close out, just like right now, I remember when we got started in this business, and it's the 29th of January. What I would be focusing on right now, who can I sit down and talk to that I've already had a conversation with that I can say, hey, I have no idea if you're ready or not, but if you're getting close and thinking about it, I'd love to get you on Juice Plus to get your year started right. And if we could just find 2 people that that also want to get healthy and want to invest in the health of their life and their family in the future, if we could find 2 people, we could get you, roughly $217. If you got 3 trio customers, they're going to make about $217 their first month. They get that $100 bonus plus their retail profit. But what you would tell them right now is, if you can do that right now, because I know you're going to start sometime soon, you'd be positioned to earn your commission on the entire month of February. You wouldn't have to wait. If you start in February, you won't start earning your commission until March. So like what we did in the beginning is we learned how to maximize the end of the month. I know you're saying, well, gosh, I've only got 2 days left. 2 days is plenty. I mean, how many people do you know that don't have, how many people do you know that do have an inner circle of a small group of people? Let's say Jen. Let's say Jen gets started in the business today, and I'd sit down and have a conversation with her. I'd say, Jen, who do you know that trusts you enough or somebody you would trust, that inner circle, that if they told you, I just read an amazing book, you won't believe it. It'll change your life. It helped me get organized. It was about, getting rid of the clutter in my life. And it was this amazing book, and it helped you kind of get organized for 2018. And you told that story to, let's say, 10 people. Your mom, your sister, your roommate, colleague at work, your best friend from high school, people you work out with at the gym. Tell them about this book and how it's helped you get organized and how you're so excited about being organized in 2018. Everybody on this call has 2 people that if you made that phone call tonight and shared that story, and it was true, you'd read this amazing book, you could get them to buy that book because they wanted to, maybe one of their things they want to do is they know they've got clutter all over their life. I'm looking at my desk right now. It's a mess. And, everybody has clutter, so you can help them solve their clutter problem. Why couldn't you have that same conversation? Say, you know what? I really wanted to get healthier in 2018, and I know as busy as I am, I'm not going to be able to change my diet overnight. And I know that's what I need to do, but I found something amazing. You have got to get this. Whether you buy it from me or buy it from somebody else, you have got to get on Juice Plus. It's 30 fruits, veggies, and berries, and we've got a new amazing omega product, and everybody's got the flu. Flu shot doesn't seem to be working, and we all need to build our immune system. You've got to get Juice Plus. So you got 2 days left. Everybody could get 2 people to join them on that journey. If you got somebody excited about Juice Plus and they begin to take it, everybody you could do that with knows 2 people they could get to join them. Promise you that's the truth. Now they may need some confidence and some belief that they can make that phone call and talk to them. You may need to make that 3-way phone call with them. But everybody on this call, you all could each get 2 HLPs by Wednesday night if you wanted to. Now, I don't know if you want to or not. I don't know if you want to make some sacrifices, not watch Bachelor or whatever. I think my wife's watching it upstairs right now. But I remember when I got started, give you an example of the kind of sacrifices we made to build a business today that's allowed us to have cabins in the mountains, a beach house, a lake house. All kids graduate with no debt from college. I can tell you, go on and on, the amazing things that we've done. But here's what we did. When I got in this business, I had just gotten out of Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech had an amazing basketball team at the time. ACC basketball, John Dalrymple, Bruce Sally, Mark Price. They were in the Final Four a couple times while I was in college. And, it was standing room only, screaming. For me, it was super exciting to go to basketball games. So we graduated. I no longer get free student tickets. And here's what I did. 3 of my buddies and me, we were so excited. We tried to buy tickets. We couldn't get them. It was literally a waiting list to get tickets. We found out you had to make a $3,000 donation in order to get the right to buy tickets. So we were bummed out, but we all saved that. We said, you know what? None of us can do this on our own. Let's all chip in basically $1,000 and we'll buy 4 tickets and we'll split them. We were all excited. Basketball season was coming up. We just graduated. We were broke. That was like in September, and Lori and I were starting our Juice Plus business. We didn't know it at the time, but that December. And so we got our tickets. Basketball season was about to just be underway. We signed up in this business, and we were so excited. I didn't go to one basketball game that year. I had tickets. I gave them away because we decided that we were going to make the investment now to have the life we have today. And that's what I really want you all to hear me say is it may not be basketball tickets. It literally might be your ability to operate the DVR and record every TV show on earth and you sit and watch TV on your couch every night. It might be that you love some particular sport. You're walking at the park every night or whatever is consuming your time right now, that you could say, you know what, there's going to be time to walk at the park in 6 months. There's going to be time to watch TV shows in 6 months. There's going to be time to do the things I'm doing right now that are keeping me from building the life that I want to make, making some right choices. I've got to clear my plate, and I've got to give this Juice Plus virtual franchise all I've got for 6 months, 9 months, and build the business that I want to have the benefits from forever. And so we did that. And it may sound silly, but that was a big deal to me at 22 years old Lori was 22, I was 23 years old, to sacrifice something that was important to me. We had saved money. We had thought we had, pulled off the coup by chipping in, buying tickets together, and literally didn't go to one basketball game. Now, I don't know what the thing is you need to clear your plate from that's distracting you, that's keeping you from doing what you need to do. But I promise you, if you will talk to enough people over the next 90 days and plug them into the process, HLP in 72 hours, VF in 30 days, and duplicate that. I know you got 30 days to HLP and 60 days to make VF. That's just too long. There's absolutely no reason to get somebody started and make them wait 30 days to see that this business works. They get impatient. Sign them up, hold their hand, and get them 2 customers fast. Get them a check, and then help them get to VF. And make it your quest in 2018 to find the 5 people that you're going to build a life with and build a business with, that you all are going to be able to enjoy time together and enjoy each other for a long time because of that residual income you build. There's no magic. It's really 90% of what we're talking about tonight, the recruiting process, building deep and wide. It's you making a decision to go do it, because there's not any kind of trick. Our business is really simple, but most people won't be vulnerable enough, brave enough, put some things that are busy things to the side long enough to go build a business that will allow you to do all those things and even more. And I'll close with this one thing, Michelle. I know you told me 30 minutes and I've gone 38, but one last thing. I saw Sean and Jennifer Myers, my friends. They bought a boat. They're national marketing directors. They bought a boat and sailed around the world with their 2 kids. Homeschooled them on the boat. Had an amazing journey. Lots of stories. I saw a picture of them in their boat, and I was on an airplane that day, and I saw a picture of this couple. Had to be in their 70s on their sailboat with the sweater tied around their neck like the Hamptons in New York. And I sat there and said, you know what? Sean and Jennifer in their mid-30s bought a catamaran and sailed around the world with their kids. And this couple worked for 35 years, funded a 401k, retired, and now they're on a boat by themselves, too old to really enjoy it. And that's not what any of us want. But that's what the world signs us up for. There are whole industries of financial planners that want you to work 50, 60 hours a week for 30 years, give them your money to sock it away in a 401k so that you've got all the fruits and benefits to have fun when you're 65. And that just was not what I signed up for. And I hope that's not what you signed up for either. And Michelle and I want more than anything for you to be able to not do that and stop just making a living and really make the life you deserve and you want. And I want to help you do that. So, Michelle, I hope that's a little bit about what you wanted me to teach on tonight. I am excited about it, obviously, but there are a lot of details, a lot of little things in between, and you and I can fill everybody in on that. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Curt. So inspiring. And you're right. This is, we have to seize the moment, the Kairos moment. And if you've learned about this business, it's for a reason. I really think that someone shared it for you for a reason. And so now it's up to all of us what we're going to do with, the decision we made. One thing I wanted to share with you, Curt, I was talking to and share with you guys is I was talking to someone on Curt's team, an NMD couple, the husband and wife are both NMDs, Mick and Jenny Daly in Colorado. And they were saying that when they first got started, Curt would come to Dallas from Georgia to do meetings and to work with them. And at the time, he didn't even get paid down to their level on their business. And Mick said, Curt, why are you here helping us? Like, you don't even get paid on us. And he said, you're my retirement plan.
There you go. It worked.
And, that's the deep and wide. He knew that he needed to go and find those rock stars.
Michelle, I met with a kid. He was 20. He was in his, I think he was 21 or 22, and we were like maybe 27. So, but Lori was ready to kill me on Thanksgiving morning, the second year we were in this business. He said that he was in Knoxville. He just graduated from UT, and he wanted to drive down and find out about our business. I met with him at 6 a.m. at Dunkin' Donuts on Thanksgiving morning. And from the business he's built, I've never made less than $5,000 a month the last 28 years.
Wow. That was a good investment right there.
But who knew,
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Well, I know we're over time, but I just wanted to give anyone, take 1 or 2 minutes. If anyone has a burning question for Curt, this is your chance. We got him as a captive audience for a couple more minutes. So you can unmute yourself and ask him anything, any clarifying questions or advice or thoughts. Don't be shy.
All right. I have one.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm really intimidated to share the business because I think of what people think of network marketing. Right now, it's just like going crazy. I mean, everyone's, starting their own business, and I feel like it's getting this bad, rap. And so when I go to share, they're like, "Oh, is it just another one of those things out there?" Yeah. And I've been in the business for a year, and I have, a teammate, and so it's still something I'm learning and growing in. But I just get intimidated by that, that kind of perspective that I feel like is out there, always judging and what I'm doing and how. Did it go through it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I totally felt the same way, because when I got started, I was 23 years old, and I was talking to people that were way more successful than I was. I had no track record. I was intimidated. And, we were on the heels back then of, Amway being the hot thing running around. And it was people, what you're feeling is not a new thing. That's been around for a long time. And the reason that exists is that there's so many scammers in our industry that they ruin it for the good companies, and they, everybody's got Aunt Sally who's got a closet full of soap. She's tried to do something 20 years ago, and, the remnants of it are in their house when she died and they found it or whatever, and the reality is this company's been around for almost 50 years. They do $1 billion in sales and they're debt free, and you've joined a company that's broken the model. So what I would tell people is, when they say that, is I said, you know what? It's kind of like that. But what I liked about this company the most is they took a hybrid approach. They took the best of network marketing. They took the best of franchising, the best of direct sales, and the best of corporate America, and created a new business model. And it really came about on the heels of the home-based business model being of its time. I mean, when the home-based business model first started, it was people toting around in the trunk of their car, and they were trying to compete with the big businesses out there. And they had IBM had computers and all the technology, and you couldn't compete with them. Today, literally in the palm of your hand, you have the computing power of what it took the entire floor of an office building 20 years ago to provide you. So nobody working from home is at a disadvantage from anybody that's working on the top floor of the IBM Tower in downtown Atlanta. I can do a Zoom meeting just like they can. I can get a customer in Japan just like they can, or Germany or Australia or wherever, because our business is global and gives me all the resources and opportunities that weren't available in the past. So we've taken the components and pieces from multiple business models and tried to create something that was the best thing for someone who wanted to work from home, that wanted to be independent, that wanted the freedom to do what they really were called to do. So yeah, we're a little bit like network marketing, but we're kind of not. But when you're intimidated, I always use the help card as my trump card. Because what I did was, somebody told me in the beginning, you need to recruit up, not down. Because if you want to go build a big business, you want to recruit people that are more capable, more successful, more qualified, more credible, more respected than you are. So I'd go to people that I was scared to talk to and say, you know what, I really would like your help. I'm going to build an amazing business with this company I found, and they've told me I need to find 5 people that have credibility and respect and that are excited about living healthier and excited about building a business around the world, so they could work from home. and have the time freedom and the financial freedom that they've always desired. And I don't know if that would be of interest to you because you're already super successful, but I know that if you would sit down and just let me explain to you what I'm doing, that even if you're not interested, you could help me find one of those 5 people. And it takes the whole pressure, it takes the intimidation factor away, because everybody will help somebody as long as they don't feel like their checkbook or wallet have to be pulled out to do it.
Right.
And when you take that pressure off, then you can feel free to have those conversations, and people really can help you and not feel like you're throwing a hook out and the only option is for you to recruit them and them make you happy or them tell you no and ruin their relationship. You let them know the relationship's more important and you respect them, and there are a lot of ways they can help you, but you just need them to know what you're doing so they can decide what works.
Yeah.
And that becomes easy. I can go to anybody and ask them for help. I don't care if they're, Donald Trump or Warren Buffett or Steve Jobs, or
right.
He'd be hard to talk to now, but anybody.
Thank you.
I have a question that kind of relates to that. So the 5 people that you recruited this weekend, you're not in that place where you need those 5 to build your business right now. So I would love to hear maybe some questions that you asked them, or how did you invite them into this mission, knowing that they're already doctors and lawyers and they're, probably successful in their careers already?
Well, it kind of unfolded, and maybe this was intentional, maybe it wasn't, but I think I made myself attractive and I drew them into me. So this duck club of hunters is about 20 guys, and I'm 54, the dentist is 56, the doctor's 42, the college student, and then the car dealer's in his 50s somewhere. Everybody else is younger. But I go to bed the same time they do. I get up at 4 every morning. I've made them coffee when they get up. I'm out running the chainsaw with the college kids, cutting ice, and they're in the room taking naps. 6 of them had the flu this year, and they see me get up and take my Juice Plus and go duck hunting and make me a smoothie to take in the duck blind, and they're choking down, honey buns and whatever. And we had a little banquet, and they gave me the early to rise award. He said even if we don't have to go duck hunting because the sun's setting later, Curt's up at 4 sitting there reading, making coffee, and we're like dragging ourselves out of the bed. What are you doing? What is that Juice Plus stuff? And so that's how the whole thing started. They were all intrigued by how much energy I had. How was I able to hunt 30 days this year with my son and not get fired from my job? What did I do? How did I show up in a brand new truck at Duck Club last year, show up in a brand new truck at Duck Club this year, and was able to do the things that I did with my kid? And they, some of those guys had nice camouflage clothes to hunt in, and they'd give their kids their hand-me-downs or buy their kids stuff at Bass Pro and get the cheap stuff. But my son had the same nice stuff that I had. There were little things like that they saw. But more than anything, I think they saw that there was nobody telling me what to do. And so long story short, I made myself attractive. I think they really started asking me questions over a period of time, but I did not push Juice Plus on them. My Juice Plus, they saw me taking my Juice Plus. I talked about it, and eventually they said, you know what? I think some of my patients would need this. And then I think at one point in time I mentioned to the dentist there was a periodontal study. I mentioned to the ER doctor about David Phillips, who was an ER doctor. There were little drips and pieces of conversations that I dripped on them. But, I love, not that I need to recruit somebody, but what gets me excited is connecting with somebody, tapping into their network, and us doing something amazing together that neither one of us could have done by ourselves. It's kind of like fireworks go off when I meet that right person. I'm like, this is going to be fun. We're going to have a great time doing life together. All 5 of those people, I'll duck hunt with them. They're coming to see the Masters. We're going to play golf together. We got a fishing trip planned this summer, all because we care about each other. And when you do, when you care about each other, you share what you're excited about. And, they know that I believe in Juice Plus and I'm passionate about it, but they know if they say no, they're still going to be just as good a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. but they're saying yes because they want what I have. Maybe that didn't answer your question, but hopefully it did.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really their relationship, sounds like, Curt. You know, you built that relationship and that rapport, and you live out your passion. And if someone doesn't make, you know, a six-figure income yet, that doesn't mean they can't still attract and build relationships. They
Sure.
can build a vision for what this is doing for them and get people to buy into that, even if they're not there.
I told the story of the six-figure income I was going to build way before I had it,
Mm-hmm.
because I'd seen other people do it, and I said, there's so many people around me that are doing this, and I want the life they have, and here's the business I'm going to build. So I told people what I was going to do before I did it, and now I tell them what I've done.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks for indulging us and giving us extra time tonight. We know it's late there for you. It's past your bedtime if you're getting up at 4. So thank you so much for blessing us. And if people have more questions, I'll get them to you and get some answers. But we're grateful for you. Thanks for leading us. Thanks for being our example and role model. And we're excited to see what 2018 brings for our team.
Can't wait to see you guys, hopefully before, but for sure in Phoenix.
Absolutely.
Sounds great. I'm learning a lot. A lot.
Well, thank you guys all. I'll unmute you so you can say bye to Curt.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.